book, and it's all about girls and women in history. And the book is called She Persisted. And it was written by Chelsea Clinton and Alexandra Bozier.
I didn't read that book.
You see the pictures? It says, sometimes being a girl isn't easy. At some point, someone may tell you your dreams are impossible. May tell you your dreams are impossible. Don't listen to them. These 13 American women didn't, and they persisted not to listen to people who told them it wasn't possible. Harriet Tubman was born a slave, but her story doesn't end there. She persisted. She escaped from slavery, leading her family and friends and strangers all to freedom. On the Underground Railway, she set up. Here's another lady and girl. Once, and she's actually from our area. Her name is Helen Keller. Became blind and deaf. Few people thought she should ever be able to read or write or speak. But she persisted and learned how to do all these things. And her story to work for more opportunities for people with disabilities around the world. One can never consent to a creep when one feels as impulse to soar. And she's telling people that they can soar no matter what people tell them they can't do. Can you wait until we're actually done with our story? Okay, hold all those questions in. After her family fled the Ukraine for a new home in New York City, Clara Lemchen got a job working at a factory with terrible conditions. She persisted and helped secure better conditions for thousands of workers. I am one of those who suffers from the abuses described here, and we go on a general strike. So she encouraged people to go on a strike until the conditions that they worked in were made better. Nellie Bly was determined to be a reporter, even though some men said it wasn't something women could do at the time. Putting her safety at risk, they said. She persisted throughout her career in exposing how badly people were being treated, even though they were a woman. I have never written a word that did not come from my heart. I never shall. So she always wrote the truth. Virginia Apgar. From an early age, Virginia Apgar was determined to be a doctor, similar to Dr. Montessori. She persisted in creating the Apgar score to test a newborn baby's health, which hospitals all over the world still use. Nobody but nobody is going on to stop breathing on me. So she was very famous as a doctor, a female doctor, to create a test to help babies when they're born.
Can I tell you something?
Can you hold your questions till we're done? Maria Tallchief was teased in school for her Native American heritage and later told she to change her name to something that sounded Russian. She persisted, ignoring the taunting and bad advice, to become the first great American prima donna ballerina.
Oh, I wanted to be a ballerina for Halloween. Next Halloween.
Even though she was Native American and they told her to change her name, she refused to, and she still became one of the best ballerinas of all time.
Oh, like the Nutcracker?
Mm-hmm.
The Nutcracker dance is good.
Yeah. She probably did that play at some point, that musical.
Yeah, it's on Christmas only.
The next lady is a 15-year-old African-American girl. Claudette Cloven was expected to give up her seat on the bus to a white woman. In her refusal to get up, she persisted in taking a stand for what's right, inspiring others, including Rosa Parks, to stay seated for equal rights and justice. I knew then, and I know that now, when it comes to justice, there is no easy way to get it. You can't sugarcoat it. You have to take a stand and say this is not right. So was she not getting up because there was plenty of seats, right, for other people? But someone was telling her because she was black, she needed to get up and move to a different seat for a white person. That's not really nice, is it? Not unless it was a really old lady, right? And there was no other seats on the bus. And she was young. Then what would you do? Then you would give it up, right? To an elder. When Ruby Bridges was in kindergarten, many schools still refused African American students their equal right to education. She had to walk through protesters to get to school. But she persisted, integrating an all-white elementary school in New Orleans. And what do you see? She was walking through all those white people just to try to go to school. Even though they were going to hit her or call her names, right? She persisted. She didn't let anybody bully her, did she?
Yeah, that was had. And I was in the garden, don't bully me.
It's not nice when people bully you, is it?
And when I was at middle school, somebody bullied me too.
As for the first woman to serve as both a U.S. representative and a U.S. senator, Margaret Chase Smith could have let that be her legacy. Instead, she persisted in championing women's rights, standing up for free speech, and supporting space exploration. So this lady wasn't only running for office, she was supporting going to space and exploring. So she must have been a person who believed in science.
Yeah, like I believe in fairies.
Sally Ride always believed women could succeed in any math or science career. She persisted and became the first American woman in space, and then created programs to help generations of young women achieve their dreams. She basically said, you can't be what you can't see, which means you got to see those dreams to be it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Florence Griffer Joyner, when as a kid, visited her father. He would urge her to run fast as a jackrabbit. She persisted in believing she could. And now, at 1988 Olympics, became the fastest woman ever at that time. And all over the world, she was the fastest woman. When anyone tells me I can't do anything, I'm just not listening anymore. That's what she said. Oprah Winfrey. Grandmother expected Oprah to become a maid. Oprah knew that her dreams would take her somewhere else. She persisted and became a media superstar, hosting the highest-rated talk show of all time. The biggest adventure you can ever take is to be the life of your dreams.
Can I tell you something? When I grow up, I'm going to be a singer.
You're going to be a singer?
When I grow up, I'm going to be a ballet girl.
You're going to be a ballet girl?
Mm-hmm.
Here's another one. We got another one. Watching fictional judges on television inspired Sonia Sotomayor to want to be real-life judge. And she persisted, eventually becoming a Supreme Court justice, the first ever Latina to sit on the American's highest courts. I have never had to face anything that could overwhelm the native optimism and stubborn persistence I was blessed with. She was the first woman on the Supreme Court.
Like the first kid on the
So, if anyone ever tells you no, if anyone ever says your voice isn't important or your dreams are too big, remember these women. They persisted. And so should you. So raise your hand one at a time if you have a question or want to say something. Olivia. What do you want to say about the story?
I want to be a princess.
You want to be a princess?
Me too,
Okay, next question was from you.
Yeah.
Next question is from Presley.
I want to be a singer and a ballerina at the same time.
A singer and a ballerina at the same time.
Yeah, because she. And Abby wants to be a golden princess, and Abby wants.
And what is it? And Abby, raise your hand if you want to talk next. Okay, what do you want to say, Abby?
I want to be a ballerina and a chef.
And a chef? Cool.
Then
And how do you think you can become a chef and a ballerina? Can you tell me? Are you thinking about how you can do that?
Can I tell YouTube? She's gonna dance at the same time and cook.
That's a good idea. She can do both then.
Well, how does she do it at the same time?
You know, I can tell you a really big secret that you might not know about Nana. Nana used to do ballerina
Me
and cook at the same time. And sometimes when you guys are not here on the weekends, when Nana's cooking in the kitchen, she does ballerina moves to get into the refrigerator or open the cupboard. So anything is possible. You can never say nothing is impossible.
This is the powder off.